ahead and call this meeting to order.
All right, we'll do roll call. This guy. Angela Rasmussen,
Here.
Christian Schweighofer,
Here.
Lisa Stetler,
Here.
Robin Grossesh is not here. Kathleen Summers Gill, Alicia Turner Tolbert, Mark Howell,
Here.
Kristen Larkham. Okay, we do have a quorum of the board.
Oh, and Jerry Schulte.
Oh, and Jerry Schulte.
Jerry.
Thank you.
Did we get Tim?
I'm not on at the moment.
We don't have an oath. Yeah, that, his term expired, so we'll deal with that part after. So you just won't have voting power during this meeting.
I just forwarded you the email
Okay,
thing.
Okay.
thank you. Okay.
All right, roll call is done. I am looking for, we have an agenda in front of us. I am looking for a motion to approve that agenda.
Motion to approve the
Okay,
agenda.
motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
Thank you. All in,
Is your mic in?
is my, oh, do you need me to be louder? Sorry.
I think it's mostly for CTN's purposes.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, is that better? Okay, thank you. Sorry, I always forget about this part. So we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Agenda is approved. Next up on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. We have the HBA minutes from February 13th of 2018, which I believe was the last time we met.
I motion to approve the minutes from February 2018.
All right, I have a motion. I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Minutes from February 13th, 2018 pass. Next up is the appeal, action, and show cause hearing. We have the HBA 20-001 appeal for 2810 Elmwood Avenue. Could we have the staff report for that, please?
Yes, we could. My name's Mark Hall, Deputy Building Official representing the Housing Board of Appeals for the rental housing program. Good afternoon, Chair and Board. Thank you for being here. As just stated, we are here for HBA 20-001 at 2810 Elmwood Avenue. Representing for the property owners are Jennifer Bishop and Sarah Tanner. A little background on the subject property. House was built in the 1920s. It appears to be original construction with one bedroom on the first floor and a finished loft space on the second floor. The owner of the residence located at 2810 Elmwood Avenue requests one variance. Variance is second floor loft space ceiling. Variance from 8503 subsection 3, subsection B, at least 50% of the required floor area of every habitable room with a sloping ceiling shall have a ceiling height of at least 7 feet, which is 84 inches. The floor area of that part of any room where the ceiling height is less than 5 feet, 60 inches, shall not be considered as part of the floor area in computing the total floor area of the room. Upon a field inspection, the ceiling height was discovered to be 6 foot 7 inches. Section 8515, subsection 2 of the Ann Arbor Housing Code. The City of Ann Arbor Housing Code allows the Housing Board of Appeals to grant variances from the requirements of Chapter 105, standards for approval. Practical difficulties or unnecessary hardship. Number 2, the variance does not violate the intent of this chapter. And number 3, the variance does not jeopardize public health and safety. Staff recommendation is that the variance should be denied.
Okay, are there any questions for staff? I see that we have the appellants in the audience too, so I'd certainly want to hear from you as well before we make any further decisions. But any questions for staff at this point? Okay, hearing none, could we hear from the appellants, please? If you'd like to, I assume you do.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hi, thank you so much for coming today. I'm Sarah Tanner, and this is Jennifer Bishop.
hi.
We've owned the house since 2004. We lived there for over 10 years and used the upstairs room as a bedroom. And before we lived there, it's a probably one of the oldest, if not the oldest homes in the neighborhood. It has its original architecture, although we've updated the interior. But the upstairs room is the 6'7". It's always been used as a bedroom. And it makes it possible, if it is used as a bedroom, for a couple or a small family to be able to live there. It's a wonderful neighborhood with a really big yard. We just love the house, and we've, put a lot of money into keeping it up, including we did a new roof a year ago, and in 2014, we completely rebuilt the basement. And we would like to be able to offer it to a couple or a family with one child, because we think it would be a perfect home for them. It doesn't affect our rental price, whether or not there's one person living there or a small family living there. We wouldn't charge more rent for it. We just would like to have them to be able to live there.
All the other codes, like the rise and run of the stairs is legit. The headroom to go up is within code. We're just off a couple inches, and it was built in the 1920s. And in order to make that a couple inches higher, we'd have to either raise the roof or take away ceiling that you walk into, but there's barely any room. We're off a couple inches. Rise and run's good. Everything else is up to code. A smoke detector that's hardwired with the house. So cable, outlets.
Oh, and there's plenty of natural light as well. I think that's it.
All right. Any questions for the appellants? I have one, and I don't know that it's pertinent to the issue. Did you buy the house as a one-bedroom or a two-bedroom?
2 bedrooms.
So is it legally listed? I mean, I know that that's kind of a tricky
What
thing.
does Zillow say? My pamphlet said 2 bedroom.
I mean, it
When
was
I
u-
bought it. I bought it in 2004.
What does the city say?
You tell me.
Well, there may be a difference between rental housing code and
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
legal property. So I guess I don't know
That's
that
true.
question.
Yeah, real estate will list, real estate agencies will list things as bedrooms or not when they don't actually meet the housing or the building code. So they can really advertise it as whatever they feel like it sometimes.
Does
Sure.
the city have it listed as a two-bedroom or just a one-bedroom?
I'm not sure,
Okay.
to be honest with you.
Yeah, that was the question I had for
I'd
prior to this.
One other point to make is that I know that in city code, that if there was to be a bedroom, say, in a basement, which we don't have and aren't
Right.
asking for, then the requirement would be 6'8", and it's pretty close to that. So, I mean, obviously, people can live in that ceiling height and have.
Yeah, it's a preferable bedroom. I lived there for 10 years. I bought it, so.
I
And
have-
everybody has lived there. Like, that's the master bedroom.
I have a
Love it.
question for staff. Why are you requesting that we deny the variance?
7 inch, or 7 foot is the minimum for ceiling height, and this is 5 inches apart from that. And so we deem that as not appropriate for public health and safety, being so low.
Okay.
It does have can lighting, so that's recessed into the ceiling too,
Got it.
which is helpful.
I've got
Yeah,
a
we saw the
question.
pictures. Thank you. That was helpful to see. And I think there was a person standing there. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
It might have
that's
been.
me.
Have you priced out getting like a doghouse dormer or a shed dormer onto the second floor?
We just redid the roof, but yeah, that would interfere with the roof and the structure. And we'd have to raise the roof, or we could go straight up and raise the roof too. But we're trying not to. It's got nice hip roofs. It matches the neighborhood.
Sure, but did you get an estimate or?
No, I did
No?
not.
Okay.
I did not.
Question?
A question before discussion. This is not a historical district, or is it? Just,
Nope,
okay.
no.
The city has it.
I'm wondering why it's not relevant what the city has it listed as a one-bedroom or a two-bedroom.
I think it's relevant. I think we don't have that information
That's
handy.
correct, yeah.
Am I allowed to just go onto the site and look?
I would request that information before we make a decision because I would like I think it's important to the conversation.
I do too.
I think they're looking.
It's 2 bedrooms.
It's
Listed
listed as
as
a
2
two-bedroom.
bedrooms.
So you bought it as a two-bedroom, you've lived in it as a two-bedroom.
I've lived in that bedroom upstairs.
Bedroom. And is there a fire issue for safety or?
The space meets all the relevant codes, the stairwell, the graspable handrail, the egress windows, the hardwired smoke detectors. The only thing is just the ceiling height.
Is the door well going into the property the correct height also? It's still 6'8"?
Yeah.
Into the space, yeah.
I guess I'm questioning what the safety issue is for not calling it, or not letting the variance go through. If it meets all the other codes.
I don't think the
Are we
city's,
moving to discussion?
yeah, we're fully in
Oh, yeah.
discussion.
Oh,
now.
sorry,
Yes.
we moved
Okay.
to discussion.
Yeah, and I looked at the report fully and the pictures, it's a nice-looking space. Beyond the issue of not complying with, the full 7 feet, where you would come around the stairs and enter into the space, you're actually sloping from 5 foot to 6'7". So if you split that in half, where you're traveling down that you're well below 6 feet to get to the stairway, correct? So I just put out there for consideration, that this is not approval of the way it's being used, this is approval forevermore to, sell this as a multi-occupant unit. And if you're talking a family, the way I understand too, the first floor bedroom is occupiable by 1 person by code.
Yes.
So you're potentially talking multiple people living upstairs.
Correct.
There's an area of 3'6" between the stairwell and to where the ceiling
Right, but
slopes down.
sloping
Okay.
from 5 foot to 6'7".
Right.
So, yeah, a lot, as someone goes down the middle, you're going to be
Right.
well under 6 foot to navigate yourself to get to the stairs.
I mean, it doesn't slope at the peak at 6'7". There's an area that goes straight across, so you can walk next to the stairwell and have it fully be 6'7".
Okay, but 6'7" is at one peak, it's a
It's not at a
triangle.
peak, it goes like this
Right,
and
but
then
that's,
flash
it's
out.
all 6'7" to there, correct?
there, and then it drops down to
off.
5
So, yeah, I
foot.
don't know where that, you're right. where
On the
6'7"
elevation,
line
it
is.
shows, but yeah, it doesn't show it in conjunction with the
Right,
stairwell.
stairs.
Yeah, it looks like this is 5'8".
Right. Oh, minus 3'6", yeah. So it's what, 2'2"?
Well, you have the 3'6" to walk
Right,
along.
right. But yeah, I don't.
Oh, yeah, to the
I don't know
5
where
feet, right,
that,
you're right.
there's no width for this
Right.
6'7" portion.
So there is there this, I can't really tell from the pictures. You're looking at the elevation, right?
Right,
So
so-
so there's a slope there, is what you're saying.
Right, so you're coming up these stairs like this,
Yeah.
getting to this line, then you're coming around,
Right.
and then you're someplace, your 3'6" is someplace within here.
Got it,
So
okay.
part of it's 6'7", but this is actually sloping down to 5 feet.
Right. Okay. I
So
see what you're
many
saying.
people would be ducking, I know I would, to get out of there.
Got it.
Also, the step that is at the top of the stairs is below the floor of the stairs by
So
1
see
step
right
height.
there's
I
a-
got you,
It's
there's
a
a
landing.
landing, right.
Yeah.
But as soon as you come up
The
that
landing.
landing,
Sorry.
yeah,
Got it.
thanks.
What's the closet situation up there?
We have an armoire available for renters, but there isn't a built-in closet.
No closet with a door. What's the code requirement for closets in a bedroom? Is there one?
There is not one.
That's just a real estate thing? Okay.
Correct.
Did we find out what the city says about the
I think
bedroom?
they said it was
Yeah,
a
it's 2
two-bedroom.
bedrooms.
It is 2
It's
bedroom,
listed
okay.
as 2 bedrooms.
That potentially wouldn't change the code, it might change the tax assessment.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, is if they've been paying taxes on a house for 10 years, it's a two-bedroom, but we tell them they can't use one of the bedrooms. And I know that's a different subject than the safety issue. It just seems like something to consider. What's your thought?
I agree with you.
I agree with that
It's
point, but I
listed
think
as
that's.
a two-bedroom, even by the city.
Yeah.
That's an important distinction.
Right, I don't know that it is from a code perspective as far as going to, you know,
Right.
looking at your tax assessment. I guess I'd put to the board too, it's just, I think, you know, we are forever changing how this can be listed and occupied. Is this, and we've seen things where it's very close, is this close enough? You know, and to some degree, the ceiling height of 6'7" doesn't concern me as much as that you have a sloping roof that, you know, slopes down to 5 foot, and you're
Right.
navigating to the only means of egress through a space that's actually, you know, gonna practically be much lower than 6'7" even.
Right.
If I cast my mind back 2 years ago, we used to do site visits, just to see what it was like. It might be a good idea.
And we'll bring the tall one along.
Thanks. Better leave me home.
I'm just wondering if there isn't a way to like make that, you know, make it so that you
So
wouldn't have
the
that.
dilemma really is the entrance, I think, into the floor, because it's so sloped there.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that if we're thinking about safety and code and fire, I think that it probably is a hazard.
Hitting your head at the top of a staircase is not the best place to do that.
Right, or conversely, you know, if there was an emergency trying to leave. Right. I mean, I
Correct.
think that's the part that we're trying to
More so than.
discuss.
yes.
Yeah.
And that's our job, right?
Yep.
That's our job.
I feel like it's safe, and of course I do because I'm the one that wants the variance, but it does have 2 huge windows on each end, and it has a hardwire smoke detector that talks to the whole house, so there will be a warning. And we're over the light, like, we have more natural light than we need as a rental space, and the rise and run, and the
Yeah.
opening to it,
Yeah.
and it does.
Would you feel more comfortable with the site visit before making a decision?
I think it could go either way, and I think that if we're looking at code and safety, I kind of think we need to go there and look at it, because I
Yeah.
think,
The other piece of information, which, I mean, it's a very well-done appeal.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the pictures and the schematics. I mean, for me, that was super helpful.
Good.
I think it was just kind of looking at what the ceiling height is adjacent to the stairway, because realize it is sloped, just to kind of figure out, you know, again,
How-
within reason, where are we at? Because we realize that it's the maximum ceiling height, but we have that over such a minimal portion of the room because of the structure and age of the home. Realizing that those are things we're not going to necessarily change.
And the maximum ceiling height isn't, you know, it's 5 inches.
It's still
it's
5
not
inches
1
off.
inch,
It's
right.
5
Correct.
inches off.
Yep,
With
right.
a lot of padding carpet. It's nice pad.
Really, really plush
Yeah,
carpet.
the original inspector called it 6'8", but Mark called it 6'7", so.
Okay. So, very plush carpet.
Are we done with discussion?
I don't have anything else if you don't, so I think we could wrap up discussion and maybe
Motion.
make a motion. Excuse me.
I'll make a motion that we make a site visit before we make the final determination.
I'll second it.
All right, so we have a motion to table the decision until a site visit can be made. A second discussion on that? Okay. So what we've done, I think, in the past is we've had a subset of the board go and represent and either provide a report back or have 2 site visits where like half of the board goes. But thank you for reminding us that we need to adhere to the Open Meetings Act. We're a little rusty since we haven't met in
2 years.
2 years.
2 years. Which is a testament to the city, being able to take care of everything through their normal process and not having to go to the appeal.
And find us.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. We need to vote. All in favor of the motion to do a site visit?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so we don't want to say no yet. We want to take a look. We'll try to schedule that in a timely fashion because we realize you're waiting. You've probably already waited for a bit to get this appeal heard.
Sure. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, flipping back to my agenda. Old business? I'm not aware of any old business, other than maybe just the structure of the board and making sure that we've got seats filled. I know we had some vacancies 2 years ago. I'm not sure if we stand with that. Sounds like we'll be meeting at least one more time this year.
We have a couple vacancies.
Okay.
Sorry, one vacancy.
Yep, one vacancy. Okay,
To be determined whether I'll be filling the vacancy or not.
okay. And new business? I don't have any either. All right. Reports from staff and communications.
I have nothing.
Okay. Public commentary. Our appellants have gone. I think we've
Okay.
give it a few awkward seconds, but, all right, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
All right, I will make the motion. You second it. All in favor?
Aye.
You're adjourned. Thank you.
Zach, do you need these?
Yeah,
So I'm
living